Hey guys, and welcome back to another podcast.
Yeah, lots of information again today.
There is. We've got a new Doggy of the Week to show you. We've got some updates on some previous stories and some upcoming information and festivals that people might be interested in. So stay tuned. So if you caught the podcast last week, we did a quick piece on the carbon monoxide alarms and we tagged you so that you could have a look at them and everything else. We were actually given a comment and it was a vital piece of information that we were unaware of. So we did a bit of research, didn't we?
Yes, thanks to Avril Sykes, who pointed out that an LPG leak will not be detected by a carbon monoxide detector. So it's worth having a look. You can actually get them, but you'll know if you've got a leak because it's going to smell of rotten eggs. They put an additive into the gas so that you can actually smell these days. So really what we're saying is you need a smoke alarm, you need a carbon monoxide alarm and a gas alarm as well.
But I suppose that's only if you actually have LPG.
Yeah, it's pretty pointless if you haven't.
So people like us who don't have LPG, we don't need an LPG alarm. So yes, thank you, Avril. That was a very, very critical piece of advice that we really, really appreciate again.
Yeah, and that's why we've done it first, because it's really, really important.
Yes, safety first.
Yes, absolutely. So remember last week, Stuart, we discussed the couple that bought the illegal immigrant back in their bike rack.
Oh yeah, the third wheel that they didn't plan on having.
Exactly. They got fined £1,500, which we thought was a bit steep because they'd actually rung the police to tell them that they bought back this person. That fine's been rescinded.
Yes, I heard that some powers to be got involved.
The Prime Minister got involved.
I do think it was a little bit extreme.
Yeah.
Like we already discussed, like at the end of the day, they did everything that they thought was the right thing to do, apart from the fact that they didn't check the bike rack. But everything else was what that they thought was right. And I don't know how else. If anything, to me, the way it would come across is don't say anything. If you don't say anything, you're not going to get fined. If you say something, they're going to fine you.
Well, I think the message is there now, isn't it? If you do bring back somebody unwittingly, but please check your motorhomes before coming back. You know you're not going to get a fine. And there's one of the MPs said in Parliament they should be thanked, not fined. Yeah,
I do think that. I think the fact that they were really honest, they rang the police, they were filming it, like they did everything in their due diligence to make sure that they followed the law, and then were punished for it. Kind of was like, well, what's the point then?
Yeah,
but yes. So, anyway, so that's
updated.
That
happy ending at the end. So well done.
So that swiftly leads us on to something that we've talked quite a lot about. Let's be honest, is the Highlands scheme. We have done a few videos on it. We've done a few podcasts on it. It's something that seems to be quite a pinnacle thing at the moment, doesn't it? Everybody seems to be discussing it. It seems to be a thing in Scotland.
Yeah, and of course the season's coming up. We know that the campsites are open again and people have got the motorhomes out of storage. And where are we going to head? We're going to head to the NC 500. Always in discussions everywhere.
So if you are unaware, last year the government in Scotland decided to try a new scheme where it was £40 for 7 days, offered you a couple of campsites, few local amenities and being able to empty your toilet and stuff. It was a optional thing. You could opt into it, you could pay the money and then take advantage of these benefits of paying this £40. Yesterday they released the figures of the first year. They were trying, their anticipation was what they were going to raise £500,000. They raised £20,000. Yeah. That was over a whole year. There was only £20,000 raised. I'm saying only like it's a drop in the ocean, but compared to what they were planning on raising, it is a huge deficit.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? They've pumped so much money into this scheme, and I don't think they've consulted everybody that they should have done, like local councils who we've seen in recent times. You'll see one of our recent podcasts where one of the councils is now closed two of the car parks to the scheme, or wanting to close the car parks to the scheme. So it doesn't really fit very well, does it? But yeah, it's just people just aren't taking it up, are they?
I think because of the fact that even I was a little bit naive, I thought they were giving you plenty of places to go. You could spend as long as you wanted a week. So if you were going to one car park, you could spend the week at that one park up.
Yeah.
You can't. You can only spend the one night. You can't return within 36 hours. So you're forced to move on. Kind of makes it a bit
Well, my biggest contention was the fact that you're not even guaranteed a space at one of these car parks. You just turn up, and if there's a space, you can park there within the price of your ticket.
And if there isn't, you have to move on.
Move on. It seems like a good scheme, but it's, again, not been thought out 100%.
For me, I think the other issue is the fact that you're saying, yep, you have to move on, but you're not just moving on 5 or 6 minutes down the road, you're moving on a few miles to the next one, and even then you're not guaranteed that next one's going to have any.
And you may not want to move on to the next one.
No,
if you're doing the
course.
NC 500 in a week, you want to take your time, and you don't want to be rushed on. So I think there's some more thinking to be done there, but the figures say it all, doesn't it? If they were expecting £500,000 and they've got £20,000, I think they've done well with £20,000. To be fair,
Yeah.
from the figures that we've seen, I think they've done well with that.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on that one and see where this actually ends up going, if they end up scrapping it or whether they end up putting a few more advantages of paying the £40.
Yeah, or have a little update. Yeah. Stolen motorhomes. It's the most worrying thing, I think, that you have as a motorhome owner, and it's on the increase again. We've seen just this week at least 3 vehicles have been stolen that we know of. There must be countless more. One you saw in Dudley,
Yes,
was being used as a ram against the police.
It was actually in a housing complex, and they'd stolen this motorhome, smashed a small window to get in, tried to then get out of this estate. Police had barricaded them in, and they decided to use it as a bit of a tank by the sounds of it.
So and even if you think, oh, I've got an older vehicle like we've got, no, because there was an Auto Trail Apache stolen, which was almost as old as ours just last week. Don't know whether that's been retrieved or not, but it's any age of vehicle. There's a value attached, and it's big business. Make sure your motorhomes are safe.
And be very careful where you're parking them. I know a lot of people think, well, if they're in a public place, then they're okay. But that isn't the case. There was a one broken into the other day at Scarborough, and it was parked in an actual big car park.
Yeah.
The guy smashed the window, climbed in, ripped all the electrics out, thinking that he could jump the van. So, yeah, be very, very careful of where you park it. Be a bit more mindful of the areas, because, let's be honest, if they're going to pinch it, they're going to pinch it. They're going to try.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's big business. It's a lot of money. There's a lot of money's worth, and they're easy to break into. That's the thing.
There is, and that leads us on to something else. So if you are really worried about your motorhome, there is a lot of things out there that you can actually do. There is a lot of security you can put out there. We have cameras fitted. You can look at buying trackers. You can also get trackers that fit in and have to be attached to something, but you can also get them now that are wireless, can't you? You can get them and they charge up.
Yeah, we're not going to say too much about what tracker we've got in our vehicles, because obviously we don't want people to find out. But it is wireless and it's secreted. It's live. It pings every 30 seconds to tell us where the van is, and it's great. And it's a little bit of comfort that if somebody did manage to break in and steal it, then we're going to know where it is. We're going to do a whole video on security of vans, so look out for that.
Yes, but yeah, have a look. Make sure you're safe. At the end of the day, your motorhome is a huge financial purchase. You don't really want to lose it by not saying, well, I don't want to spend £100 on security tech. Maybe spend that extra couple of £100 getting it fixed.
I would. It's absolutely essential if you don't want to get it nicked. You can get things like blocks to go over your foot pedals. You can get steering locks. Me, I mean, when I used to go to football matches in my old car, because I learnt the hard way, I put a brand new stereo system in, and it got nicked the first day at the Forest game. We came back from the match gone. So I learnt very quickly that just disconnect something so they can't start it. There's all these electronic gadgets that try and disable it. Go under the bonnet, disable something that they're not going to find easily, and then they're never ever. It's like the Sound of Music, isn't it?
I'm just thinking all there. I'm thinking just go and take the starter plug out the front of the van, walk around with it in your purse, and then put it back in when you get back in your van.
Well, it used to be what was the cable? It used to be the one to the ignition. The ignition, was it the ignition cable? You just used to take that away with you, and then there's no way anybody was going to move it.
Do they not just have a starter plug? What's that? Like the thing that you screw in, the white thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you not just unscrew that and take that out? Yeah. There's no way they can turn it on then.
If you're mechanically minded, I'm sure there's something under the bonnet you can disable so somebody's not going to nick it. It's the easiest way, especially if you've got an old vehicle like ours.
swiftly moving on to some festival that we found this morning that we didn't even know existed. And I'm quite embarrassed to say we didn't know it existed.
Yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed as well because we've done a map with the ones that we know about, that we're familiar with and everybody's familiar with, and then we found wild festivals.
We have. There is only 6 of them. I'm saying only 6.
Only?
But there is 6 of them, and they do kind of lead on from each other. There is a couple of weeks gaps in between some of them, and then some of them, the day they finish, they start another one in another area. But I'm liking them. I'm liking the look of them. I think they're in areas that we quite like to visit.
They're all up and down the country, aren't they? So there's one close. There's going to be one close by to you. So that they're kind of pop-up campsites, aren't they?
Yes, so the festival is only for a couple of days, but they actually offer camping from between, I think it's between 9 and 12 days at these sites. That is affordable, and you don't have to actually go to the festival. So if you want just cheap camping, I think it was £10 a night, you can just go rock up, do a week's camping there, either before or after the festival, and then that's it. You don't have to actually attend the festival.
And it's good price, isn't it? They say on the website it's from £9 a night, which I think is great. They don't have lots of commercial stalls with overpriced food and drinks because it's supposed to be free from EHU and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it all looks like quite reasonably priced. The thing that I really like that you told me, they've got different camping zones.
They do. They have 5 different camping zones. I think the one that we liked, there's a quiet zone. And I looked and I was like, quiet, how are they going to do that? But they actually have a zone where they put you by yourselves, just in this little camping bit. And it's for late risers. So between 11 and 9 o'clock, you have to stay completely silent. And I'm just like, oh my God, we could get a lie in.
You see, you're saying this, 10 years ago, we'd have been in the party zone.
No. Not anymore.
Not anymore. We're like asleep, don't we?
I want my bed.
But yeah, it's nice though. They've also got a solo zone, so if you're travelling solo, so you can feel comfortable with other people.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And I think that's a great idea, just having these different zones, so that because we've been to one, haven't we? And we were kept awake. So this sounds really good.
And another thing that I really, really like the idea of, and I think if you're a festival sort of person and you don't really know what you want to do with your season, they do an actual package where you can attend all the events. You can camp up to 50 nights, which is brilliant, at a huge, I think it's like a £260 saving.
Yeah.
And do all of it.
Yeah.
That to me, I'm just like, so I could just bunny hop all these festivals around the UK over, I think it's over nearly 6 weeks worth of camping. And I'm like, I quite like the idea of this.
Yeah, and it's over the summer, isn't it, as well? So where you'd be paying, I mean, we were just looking this morning on pitchup.com to have a look at Easter. We're not going to go onto a campsite at Easter. We were just interested at the prices. I saw somebody post about Haven being expensive. Well, it's going to be expensive over Easter. That's where they're going to make their money.
Yes.
So we looked, didn't we? But the most expensive site was £75 for the night, which you said.
But that's without a jacuzzi. We can get one with a jacuzzi at nearly 150. I would pay that extra just for the jacuzzi if you wanted to take me away for Easter.
It wasn't actually that bad price, was it? It was £100 with the hot tub, and electrics and everything. So that over Easter weekend, which is the bank holiday, maybe that's not too expensive. I mean, I wouldn't pay it, but
I'll stay in a lay-by.
Well, we're not that cheap, but
yes. So this is it. The first festival is mid-April, which I think is brilliant.
Mid-April.
It is mid-April.
Oh, okay.
So it is over the first. I think it's over the Easter week and the whole time the kids are off
of course
school.
it will be. Yeah.
So I think compared to like what you've just said there about the sites that are charging you £75 just to stop a night over that weekend,
or Haven,
you could go here and spend a tenner a night each. It is £10 per person.
Yes.
For an adult, children are cheaper. Under 5s are free. It is. You have a look on the website. We will tag it all below for you so you can have a gander.
And we'll add it to the map as well that we've got on our website, which will also tag. Loads of things going to be tagged in this video.
There is.
Worth a look. We only found it this morning. So we'll add it all onto our links and the map, so you can have a look yourselves.
Oh, how cute are those two? So that is Connie and
Macy.
It is, and we actually know their parents, don't we? Because
we do. It's Bob McKay sent this picture in to us last week. After he discovered that the email address that we gave wasn't quite right, so I've put the email address, the correct one this week. Bob is the husband of Aileen McKay, who has McKay Pet Supplies.
Yes, and if you haven't heard of the McKay's Pet Supplies, they are always at the NEC. Every single time we've gone to the NEC, we kind of make a beeline for her because she's so lovely to talk to and she sells some amazing products.
Yeah, the dogs like the treats, don't they?
They love the treats from there. So yes, thank you very much for sending in your picture, and it was lovely seeing your two little West Highland Terriers. If you would like to see your doggy up on our Doggy of the Week screen, then just send us an email. Andrew, what's the email address this week?
Yeah, it's the proper one this week. I missed Vanlife out last week. It's news@stuartandAndyvanlife.co.uk.
Yes, and we would also like to hear your questions as well. If you've got any questions you would like to see us answer that are sensible, then send them over. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Yes, so that is it for this week's podcast. We are going to do a special podcast next week, aren't we? We are going to look into...
Yeah, travelling abroad, leaving the country, and all the things that you need to make sure you've got before you go.
Yeah, something that I'm not going to lie, I struggle to get my head wrapped around. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun week of researching this and having Andrew going, Stuart, you're completely wrong. But yeah, so join us for that one next Thursday.
Yeah. And then we'll have a look at van security as well. So a couple of podcasts coming up for you. Keep an eye open for those.
Yes, don't forget to join us on a Tuesday for our vlog, a Sunday for either a quiz or a live. And there's only a few weeks left for you to get a chance to get some tickets for our raffle prizes, which are 2 Vanlife Fest tickets at Malton.
Yeah, worth about £140 for the weekend. So join us for one of our quizzes. We've only 2 left, I think, now.
There is.
It gets drawn the Sunday before Easter, so join us for that for the draw.
Don't forget, if you have liked our content and you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment and hit the like. Andrew, what do we do with that bell?
Hit the bell, make sure you've got turned on all notifications so that when we do something new, you'll get notified about it.
Yes, and if you have enjoyed our content and you would like to help support the channel, you can become a member. There is 3 different levels. We are now up to 2. We have 2 members. Yes, it really, really does help us out and it helps us create more content.
Yes, it does. So thank you to our new members. You've got some videos to watch that nobody else can watch, so well done to you.
Yes, and we will join you next week.
Thanks for watching. Safe travels.
Bye.
Bye.